Hi, I'm Meg Johnson and welcome to today's video, Tender Mercy Moment, where we identify some individualized blessings, some little tender mercies that are, those little individualized blessings that are just specific for us and answer our prayers or reach out to us and let us be reminded that we're not alone, that the Savior is aware of us and that, He's watching out for us, at that time. And so if you like this video, please share it and so that other people can be inspired maybe to look for the tender mercies in their own lives and recognize that they're really not as alone as it seems sometimes. So I want to share a little experience that happened to me, I don't know, a couple years ago, I guess, where I was filling bags, like grab bags, swag bags for an event. And there were, flyers and pamphlets and little gifts and little trinkets and, all kinds of swag stuff. And additionally, we were putting in candy bars, like full-size candy bars in these swag bags. That was just one of the items that was in there. And that was my job. I was putting in candy bars into all of these bags. And we had Three Musketeers and we had Rolos and we had those Hershey bars. We had Hershey bars with almonds. We had caramello. We just had a huge variety. And I was just taking, just filling all these swag bags with all these little candy bars. But there was one candy bar that I was having a really hard time using. And it was the Mr. Goodbar. And it's the chocolate candy bar that has the peanuts in it. And I actually love peanuts. And I love chocolate, so I don't know what my deal is, but for some reason to me, like the Mr. Goodbar is like the broccoli of candy bars. Like it just seems like it's the least exciting candy bar that there even is. Like there's nothing more boring than a Mr. Goodbar. And for some reason, I was having the hardest time putting any Mr. Goodbars into the swag bags. And I was like, no one's gonna want this one. No one is gonna want this Mr. Goodbar. And I was just struggling, and I even said a prayer. I said, Heavenly Father, I didn't fold my arms or anything, but I just was filling these swags, and I was like, Heavenly Father, please help me to accept this Mr. Goodbar. Help me to love Mr. Goodbar. Help me to put the Mr. Goodbar in the swag bags, because I understand that not everyone's like me. Like, people like Mr. Goodbars, or they wouldn't still be for sale. And I was like, Heavenly Father, help me to get past myself, so that I can put the Mr. Goodbars in the swag bags, because everything else is like diminishing and the Mr. Goodbar bag is the box is still full-ish, and I was like, oh my gosh, help me. And not very many minutes later, a couple of people came over to where we were filling the swag bags, and they were just like, hey, what's everyone doing? So we're just kind of explaining what we're doing, everything that goes in there. And we're like, would you guys like a candy bar before you leave? And so all the, there was like 3 kids and 2 adults, and these 3 kids came over and they chose, the caramello and the Kit Kat and, I think there was like a Twix or something, I can't remember, but they chose like the fun ones that are delicious and yummy and everybody likes. And the mom chose like a dark chocolate one, and then the dad comes over and he's like looking at everything, and then he sees the Mr. Goodbar and he picks one up and he looks at me and he says, these are my favorite, and he opens it up right there and takes a bite. And my heart, I was like, oh, you poor man, that's your favorite. But I was so grateful that Heavenly Father immediately answered my prayer, sent those people over, inspired somebody to offer them a candy bar, and that man looked at me and told me, with his eyes, with the Mr. Goodbar in his mouth, this is my favorite. And that made it possible for me to happily put these Mr. Goodbars in the swag bags. I recognize that I'm not going to change anybody's life by giving them a Mr. Goodbar in their swag bag. I recognize that either for the good or for the bad, nobody is going to be long-term affected by this. However, this had a long-term effect on me, that I offered a prayer over something really minor and trivial, and Heavenly Father immediately answered it. This was a tender mercy for me. This was a tender mercy for me. A small, individualized blessing for me to help me with the things that I was doing in this life. Thank you so much for watching this week's video, Tender Mercy. I hope that you will be on the lookout for those tender mercies in your own lives, and you will recognize that Heavenly Father really does care about us in our little trivial prayers, that they're not small to Him because they're not small to us. So please come and visit me on my website, it's megjohnsonspeaks.com. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Those links are in the description below. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already. And share this video if you think somebody could be uplifted or helped by looking for the tender mercies in their lives, because finding those helps us through those rough times and helps us to keep on rolling no matter what obstacles get thrown in our path. So thanks so much again for watching, and we'll see you next time.